Fallout 76 is the next big title due from Bethesda, and as we all know by now, it's going to be a multiplayer game, a live service. And that's something that's got a lot of Bethesda fans worried. Does that mean that they won't be doing huge single player titles like Skyrim and Fallout 3 anymore?
Bethesda Game Studios is one of the biggest AAA companies still batting out mainly offline single-player games. They're best known for games like The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls IV, Oblivion, The Elder Scrolls III, Morrowind, and of course, The Elder Scrolls II, Daggerfall. It's games like these and the mighty Fallout series that has won Bethesda a strong and dedicated fan base who'll snap up the next title no matter what, unless, anything changes. And with Fallout 76, Bethesda's next title, things have changed. Big style. But first, some context. Back in December last year, Bethesda launched a very popular Save Player One campaign with a nice video touting the studio's efforts to save single-player games. The video carried quotes like, "I'm here to talk about something serious, the need to save single-player gamers." It was a light-hearted poke at the fact that some gamers were worried the closure of big AAA single-player studios like Visceral Games and Ubisoft's shift to live services meant the death of single-player. Bethesda wanted them to know that they, at least, still believe in single-player games. Well, Fallout 76 is coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One on November the 14th, promising a big, co-op and player versus player multiplayer experience in a live environment. The change from single player to multiplayer is a very significant one, and much of the talk in the community has been about whether or not this is likely to be a new trend for Bethesda.
But Bethesda studio head Todd Howard set the record straight when he spoke to gamesindustry.biz at GameLab Barcelona recently. On the topic of Fallout 76 being a live service type game, Howard said this, quote, "It doesn't mark the future. Corporately, we've done a mix. People forget sometimes. Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest online games in the world. We have Fallout Shelter, which we keep updating, and Elder Scrolls Legends." And it sounds like Howard does not subscribe to the death of single player argument one bit. Quote, "Anyone who has ever said this is the future and this part of gaming is dead has been proven wrong every single time. We like to try it all. For a long time we wanted to try a multiplayer game and we had this idea. We shouldn't be afraid, we should try it."
Bethesda does have two single-player oriented games in the pipeline in the form of Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, both of which were revealed very recently at this year's E3. But the company has been doing a lot of games as a service stuff in recent years, as Howard himself pointed out. The studio head said what's worked for Bethesda is using a lighter touch when it comes to monetization, something that's worked very well for the company with Fallout Shelter. And it is clearly something that they've thought quite a bit about. Quote, "How do we keep somebody who's playing the game a lot? How do we give them value beyond, here's a timer, give us some money?" The company is now working with Shanda Games to bring an online version of Fallout Shelter to China. But while the company may be working on games as a service, mobile games and multiplayer, Howard has made it clear that single player is still very much on the agenda.
I do like what Todd Howard says here, specifically when he says, how do we give players value outside of, here's a timer, give us some money? I like that thought, right? Because it shows that they are considering the players and not just what's the best way to make money. Because a lot of games, that's what you see, right? This guy, what was that Harry Potter example where it was like, this guy's in a noose and he's going to die in 6 hours unless you pay. Yeah. It's like, it's obviously geared towards just scaring kids.
Stop moving, both of you. This is Devil's Snare. You have to relax.
It shows a huge lack of concern for the player base. It's like, just give us your money and that's all we're caring about. But Todd Howard here just shows that at least he's interested in the experience and not just taking money off people.
I think what it shows is that Bethesda is a huge company, is growing all the time and it's bigger than it's ever been before. And rather than growing and just doing the same thing more, it's doing other things and trying different things. And Fallout 76 is going to be part of the broader picture. They're still going to be doing a lot of single player stuff. Let's not forget as well the fact that Bethesda Softworks actually publishes tons of single-player games. Wolfenstein 2, Doom, these are recent titles. Prey. They do like a good single-player game as well, and that is where they've carved themselves a place in the market. That's who they are. So they're not going to leave that. they'll just grow into other things. And like Howard pointed out as well, they've got an MMO. They've got one of the biggest MMOs going in the Elder Scrolls Online. They've got loads of mobile games. They're trying a lot of different things, and I have loads of faith that they will keep making single player games. And all you need to do is look at E3, where they saved the Elder Scrolls 6 as like their big, whoa, that was their Hail Mary kind of moment, where it was like, and by the way, we've also got Elder Scrolls 6 coming. They know the value of that franchise. That's going to be a single player game. If that is a multiplayer game, if Elder Scrolls 6 is anything like Fallout 76, then I will eat my vault suit or whatever they wear in Fallout 76. That was shit. I just can't believe that it's going to be anything other than Elder Scrolls as we know and love. I've got all faith that they'll continue to make single player games, and they will start doing some stuff with multiplayer even more, like they've done with Fallout 76.
I remember an interview with Jeff Keighley that Todd Howard gave during E3, and he talked specifically about the prospect of multiplayer when it comes to Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. And he did say multiplayer might be there in some aspect or form, but these are single player games, and these are the traditional thing that you associate with a Bethesda game. You know, this is it has our DNA in it. That's the thing that they say a lot, isn't it? It does make sense for them to branch out on mobile platforms, especially trying to break the Chinese market because that's a huge market. There's a lot of money there, and I can see from a business point of view where that makes a lot of sense, where they're bringing things like Fallout Shelter, Elder Scrolls Blades, or whatever they're calling it, trying to consolidate their position in the global gaming market or whatever. So it makes a lot of business sense to do what they do, and they have their specific appeals, right? Some people like mobile games. Let's let them have that. We'll stick to our single player games, and Bethesda are doing a great job of supporting single player game players, and they have been doing that, and they look like they're doing that future. So hopefully this quells a lot of people's fears. They're just going to keep on doing what they've done best, as well as branching out in other areas as well to keep the business stable.
So we haven't done this in a while. Let's read some of your comments, I suppose.
First up on the No Man's Sky video, Arcane Bunny says, "Nice thumbnail, you sexy lads." I mean, I don't know.
Starting out with a compliment there.
Double compliment. It's like, nice thumbnail, sexy lads. Well, I'll take that one. I like that one. He's right though, there's some nails off it.
It's not going to be all compliments. And also commented on the No Man's Sky video, "I will headlock your nan." That's a bit of a funny name there, mate. "I will headlock your nan," says shit hot video.
I haven't heard the term shit hot since 92.
That's another compliment as well.
Next up on our Todd Howard regrets announcing Starfield totally not clickbait video, Brian Ogilvy says, "Todd Coward." I like the irony of that, because how brave is going to a YouTube channel and commenting that someone's a coward.
I think he's if anything, too confident. A bit much sometimes. He just comes across like, oh, okay. Just calm down. Maybe be a bit more cowardly, Todd. And Minimum 69 says, "God Howard." Well, it was well worth going back to the comments this week, wasn't it? God Howard. But in the name of balance.
Yeah.
God Howard.
God Coward. Or just call him Todd Howard. I mean, that works. And last up, Lord Dazer says, "Jake, from now on, in any video featuring Todd Howard, you must now also include that sound effect." And if you're editing this, Jake, then you know where to stick that. It was, to be fair, it was funny. What was it? Jake?
That's good sound, that.
Well done, Jake.
Let's do the outro.
So there you go. Has Todd Howard done anything to quell your concerns about single player versus multiplayer? Let us know down in the comments. Maybe you'll get featured in our Saturday show next week. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out more of our comments on your screen there. Support us on Patreon using that link there. We'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.